Imagine being told you'll never make it. Imagine being told you're not good enough, that you're just a nobody. But what if I told you that's exactly where greatness begins? I, one of the most iconic actors of all time, was once in your shoes, rejected, overlooked. But I didn't let those no's stop me, and neither should you. What would you do if the world said you couldn't? Would you quit or rise and do the impossible? Let's break down how I turned every setback into a stepping stone on my path to greatness. Your background does not define your future. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if they counted you out. Greatness is not reserved for the privileged. It's earned by the determined. Too often we let our circumstances dictate our destiny. We look at where we started, how much money we didn't have, the opportunities we weren't given, the people who told us we weren't good enough, and we start to believe that maybe they were right. But let me tell you something. They are not right. You see, the world loves to put labels on people. You're too young. You're too old. You didn't come from the right family. You don't have the right education. But understand this. Labels only have power if you accept them. The moment you stop listening to what the world says about you and start believing in what you can become, everything changes. I wasn't born into success. I wasn't handed a golden opportunity. I worked for it. I was once just another kid with a dream, and like so many of us, I faced obstacles. I had moments of doubt. But I didn't let where I started determine where I was going. I refused to stay in the box that others put me in. And that's what you need to do. Every single day you have a choice. You can let your past define you, or you can use it as fuel. You can focus on the doors that are closed, or you can start kicking some open. You can accept the limits that society places on you, or you can break them. Think about this. Every successful person you admire started somewhere. Every actor, every athlete, every entrepreneur, at one point they were just a nobody in the world's eyes. The difference? They didn't let that stop them. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and let your circumstances dictate your future, or are you going to rise up and write your own story? Because the truth is, your background is not your excuse. It's your advantage. The struggles you faced have made you stronger. The obstacles you've overcome have given you wisdom. The setbacks you've endured have built resilience. Now, take that strength, take that wisdom, take that resilience, and go do the impossible. Fall forward, not backward. You will fail. You will get knocked down. But if you're going to fall, fall forward. Fall toward your dreams, not away from them. That's how you turn failure into fuel. Life will knock you down. That's a fact. You will fail, you will make mistakes, and you will face moments where you feel like giving up. But listen to me. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Most people are afraid of failure. They treat it like a stop sign, a reason to quit. But here's the difference between those who win and those who don't. Winners fall forward. They don't fall backward into doubt, regret, or excuses. They fall toward their dreams. Think about this. When a child is learning to walk, they fall over and over again. They don't stop trying just because they stumble. If they did, nobody would ever learn to walk. But as adults, we forget that lesson. We fall once, and suddenly we convince ourselves that we're not good enough, that it wasn't meant for us, that maybe we should just settle. But let me tell you something. Every great success story is built on failure. I didn't walk into Hollywood and become a star overnight. I had auditions that didn't go my way. I had roles I didn't get. But instead of letting those failures break me, I used them to push harder. I fell forward. I embraced failure because they understood it was the price of greatness. So here's the question. What are you going to do the next time you fail? Are you going to let it break you, or will you fall forward? Will you take that failure, learn from it, and let it push you to something greater? Because I promise you this, every time you get knocked down, but choose to stand back up, you're one step closer to your dream. Failure is only permanent if you let it be. So fall forward, keep moving, keep grinding, keep believing. And one day you'll look back and realize that every fall was just another step on the path to success. Dreams without discipline are just wishes. Everybody wants success, but few are willing to work for it. You don't just dream, wake up, and grind. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Everybody has a dream. Everybody wants to be successful, to be great, to achieve something bigger than themselves. But let me tell you something, wanting it is not enough. You see, a dream without discipline, that's just a wish. And wishes don't build legacies. Work does. Without commitment, you'll never start, but more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. That's discipline. That's waking up every day and doing the work even when you don't feel like it. Even when no one is watching. Even when there are no results yet. Because discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Let me ask you this. How many times have you set a goal, got excited about it for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, but then life got in the way? You got tired, you got distracted, and before you knew it, that dream started slipping further and further away. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early to put in the work. It's staying late when everyone else has gone home. It's saying no to distractions, to temptations, to anything that pulls you away from your purpose. You see, talent might get you in the door, but discipline is what keeps you in the room. You want to be great? Be disciplined. You want success? Be consistent. Because in the end, it's not about how bad you want it. It's about how hard you're willing to work for it. So don't just dream about success. Wake up and chase it. Because the difference between the people who make it and the people who don't, it's not luck, it's not talent, it's discipline. Rejection is redirection. They told me no over and over again. But every no was just a sign pointing me towards something bigger. Don't fear rejection. Use it as fuel. Let's be real, nobody likes rejection. It stings. It makes you question yourself. It makes you wonder if you're good enough, if you're talented enough, if you should even keep going. But let me tell you something, rejection is not the end of the road. It's just a detour. You see, we've been taught to see rejection as failure. We think that when someone tells us no, it means we're not meant for something. But what if I told you that every no is actually guiding you to where you're really supposed to be? Think about this. I auditioned for roles I didn't get. I was turned down. I was overlooked. But instead of letting that stop me, I kept going. And because I kept going, I found the roles that made me legendary. Imagine if I had given up after the first rejection. Imagine if I had listened to the people who told me no. The world would have never known my greatness. Now think about your own life. Maybe you didn't get that job. Maybe you got turned down for that opportunity. Maybe someone doubted your abilities. But what if that rejection wasn't a failure, but a redirection? What if that no was just the universe, God, or whatever you believe in saying, not here, not now. I have something better for you. See, rejection isn't meant to break you. It's meant to build you. It teaches you patience. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you to keep going even when the odds are against you. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you hear no, don't let it stop you. Let it fuel you. Use that rejection as motivation to get better, to work harder, to prove to yourself that you are unstoppable. Because if you keep pushing, if you keep believing, if you keep walking through every door that opens after another one closes, one day you'll look back and realize that every rejection was actually leading you to exactly where you were meant to be. Put God first in everything you do. I've been blessed, but I didn't do it alone. Keep faith at the center and let your purpose guide you. When you walk with faith, the impossible becomes possible. Success isn't just about talent. It's not just about hard work. It's about purpose. And when you put God first, when you walk in faith, you align yourself with something greater than yourself. Put God first in everything you do, not just when things are going well, not just when life is easy, but in everything, the struggles, the setbacks, the doubts, the victories. Because when you lean on faith, you realize that you're never walking alone. Too many people chase success without direction. They want money, fame, or recognition, but they don't have a foundation to stand on. And without that foundation, success feels empty. You have to know why you're doing it. Putting God first doesn't mean you won't face obstacles. It doesn't mean the road will be easy. But it does mean that when you get knocked down, you have the strength to get back up. It means that when doors close, you don't panic because you know that what's meant for you will never miss you. I didn't just wake up one day and become one of the greatest actors of our time. I worked, I failed, I struggled, but through it all, I kept His faith. I prayed, I trusted the process. And because of that, I didn't just find success, I found purpose. And that's what you need to do. You have a gift. You have something inside of you that the world needs. But you have to trust the journey. You have to trust that even when things aren't going your way, God is working behind the scenes. When you wake up in the morning, pray. When you make decisions, seek wisdom. When you face challenges, don't just rely on your own strength, lean on faith. Because true success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about the impact you leave behind. It's about how you lift others, how you serve, how you live a life bigger than yourself. So whatever your dream is, whatever you're working toward, put God first. Work hard, stay disciplined, but always remember where your strength comes from. And when you do that, you won't just succeed. You'll inspire, you'll lead, and you'll walk in the purpose you were meant for. That's real greatness. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You may not be the most talented, you may not have all the connections, but if you outwork everyone, if you refuse to quit, one day they'll have no choice but to recognize your greatness. Talent is a gift, but hard work is a choice. And at the end of the day, the ones who are willing to grind, to push, to sacrifice, those are the ones who win. How many times have you seen someone with all the natural talent in the world, but they never live up to their potential? They take their gifts for granted. They think talent alone will carry them to the top. But let me tell you something, it won't. Because talent might get you in the door, but hard work is what keeps you in the room. I wasn't born a world-class actor. I didn't wake up one day and have everything handed to me. I put in the work. I studied. I trained. I failed. I got better. I outworked the competition. That's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. Look at the greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest artists. They weren't always the most naturally gifted, but they showed up early. They stayed late. They put in the extra reps, the extra hours, the extra effort when nobody was watching. Kobe Bryant was one of the most talented basketball players of all time. But do you know what made him legendary? His work ethic. He would wake up at 4 a.m. to practice. He would stay in the gym after everyone else left. He refused to be outworked. And that's what you need to ask yourself. Are you willing to do what others won't? Are you willing to put in the hours, to push yourself beyond your limits, to sacrifice comfort for greatness? Because if you're not, someone else will. The truth is, there will always be someone more talented than you, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that nobody outworks you. What matters is that you wake up every day hungry, focused, and committed to your craft. So don't rely on talent alone. Rely on effort. Rely on discipline. Rely on that fire inside of you that refuses to quit. Because at the end of the day, talent fades, but hard work, that's what builds champions. Don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. Success is not just about what you achieve, but who you uplift along the way. Chase impact, not just income. Leave a legacy, not just a resume. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, if you want to achieve something greater, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. Because the truth is, your comfort zone might feel safe, but it's also the very thing that's holding you back. Too many people stay stuck in life, not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't talented, but because they refuse to be uncomfortable. They want success, but they don't want the struggle that comes with it. They want growth, but they don't want to face fear. But listen to me. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. I didn't become one of the greatest actors by staying comfortable. I took risks. I challenged myself. I stepped into roles that scared me, that stretched me, that forced me to grow. And because of that, I became legendary. Now think about your own life. How many times have you held yourself back because something felt too risky? How many times have you stayed in the same job, the same routine, the same situation, not because it's where you belong, but because it's where you feel safe? That's not living, that's surviving. Every successful person you admire, whether it's in acting, sports, business, or any other field, had to take a leap of faith. They had to step into the unknown. They had to embrace the struggle. You can't fly if you're afraid to leave the ground. So I challenge you today, do something that scares you. Take that first step. Chase that dream. Start that project. Have that conversation. Push yourself beyond what feels easy, because that's where real growth happens. You might fail, you might stumble, you might feel uncomfortable, but that's the point. Growth is supposed to be uncomfortable, because every time you step outside your comfort zone, you're becoming stronger, you're becoming better, you're becoming the person you were meant to be. So don't let fear keep you stuck. Break free, step out, take the risk, because your comfort zone is your prison. But outside of it, there's freedom. So remember, I wasn't born into greatness. I fought for it against every rejection, every obstacle. His journey proves that no matter where you start, your determination, your faith, and your relentless pursuit of greatness are what truly define your future. So what would you do if the world said you couldn't? Would you quit? Or would you rise just like I did and do the impossible? The choice is yours. I want to hear from you. What's one thing you're going to do today to push yourself past your limits? Drop a comment below and let's inspire each other. And if you want more of this, check out the next video on how to turn your failures into success. Click right here to watch, and let's keep pushing towards greatness together.